Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rahul here for episode number 4 of our Williams Grand Prix Career Mode series. We will be going lights out here in Beijing for round number 3 of our 16 event F1 2020 calendar. Let's start off having a look at our inbox. We have a message from Nicholas Latifi and he has told us that he's unhappy and is looking to move on. I mean, by all means, Nicholas Latifi has been pretty useless this whole career mode, so if he is gonna move away from Williams, it's a blessing in disguise for us and I'm looking forward to it. Besides, I only wanted to move him on and not give him a contract at the end of the season. It's not the end of the world if Latifi goes, and definitely he's been shit and he comes up to me and says that he wants to leave, so he can piss right off. Also, we have George Russell who wants to leave. I mean, as much as I love George and the performance he put in for us last race, which was spectacular in its own words, if any driver is not willing to drive for me or the team, I'm gonna just chop him off, because we cannot have the toxicity within the team while we are building something for the future. So if either of the drivers are going to leave, I have no issues with that. As long as I don't have to pay the release clause, I'm okay with it. We have Hulkenberg as a free agent and many talented F2 and F1 drivers whom we can turn to in case these clowns leave. So I have no issues, and we have an interview request. I'm going to accept it. It's from Laurent Dauphin, and he's asking us that we finished in P17 in the practice, so what did we do to end up there? Was it the setup? I mean, the whole race we finished in P10 or P8 and then got some points for the first race of the season, and then this clown comes here and asks us about the practice session. I'm going to just say that we had the engine turned down. It makes no sense, but these are some things we need to go through from the media. And we performed 3 pit stops. It was an average of 2.5 seconds, so nothing to worry about that. So this is our car, and we had started developing a new engine in the last episode. It's still under development. It's going to take 14 days more, and right now our high speed corners is lacking, and also we should concentrate more on getting a rear wing done. Let's see how that goes. Regarding the HQ, we were working on a simulator which indirectly increases our performance in the high speed corners by giving us better rear wings. It's still under construction, so let's see how that goes. This is a pit crew, and let's see if we can get any new mechanics on board. These two are not good enough. I'm gonna appoint this guy because he's 16 on tires and 16 on front jack, so he can come in handy for interchangeability as the season goes on. I'm going to swap him straight away for the front right tire mechanic, who seems to be pretty exhausted, and also the rear left mechanic needs to be replaced, so I'm going to swap him as well. We lose some time in the pits, but that's okay. We are 4th best pit on the road. That's not too bad for a backmarker team, so I'm going to take it with a pinch of salt, and I think these are the alterations that could be done to optimize our chances in the race. However, I think we could change the rear jack mechanic, but actually he's 17, so I'm not going to fiddle with this anymore. Let's simulate straight to the race day until and unless something comes up. So we have an email here from Nicholas Latifi, and he's not happy with us, and he doesn't want us to give him orders on when to push and when not to push. He's just come off F2 and is acting like fucking Lewis Hamilton here, and he wants to go rogue. So I am just tired of this guy's nonsense. We're gonna bear with him for this weekend, and I'm gonna start looking for replacements. I'm just fed up of this guy, so I'm just gonna say I'm the boss here and assert my dominance, because this is our team and it's not all about this shit face. And straight away he is telling me again that he hates this team and shit like that. You know what, at this point of time I'm gonna demote him. I can't I mean, this is extremely stupid of him to do all these things. I'm just gonna demote him to the reserves let him learn his lessons, let him know when to keep his mouth shut. So he is unhappy and I hope he fucks off. We now have our engine built. I hope it does not blow up like Pady Lowe's career. Also, our performance upgrades have been completed. So straight off the bat, I want to increase the engine performance, which should be ready by the next race ideally, which will be the Portuguese Grand Prix. 11 days after the race makes sense because the next race is in 14 days. So we will have the engine by the next race. Let's see what other components on the car we can increase. After that rear wing upgrade, it looks somewhat stable. My major concern now is deceleration and medium speed corners. For this episode, I'm going to focus on the medium speed corner. Our current potential is around 841, so I'm gonna increase it by 20. We will have 861 once this part comes out. Hopefully Pady doesn't mess up the suspension. So let's go ahead and build it. It's gonna cost us almost 1 million euros, close to 1.1 million euros. So let's get this part ready for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Okay. So we now have to select tires for the race. It's gonna be rainy in practice and it's gonna be rather dry in qualifying and race. We have super softs, softs, hards, inters and wets. I think we will go with 7 sets of super soft tires because we are still not fast enough to get out of Q1. 4 sets of probably 4 to 5 sets of softs and 3 sets of hards should do the trick for us here. I'm going to do the same with NISSANY, who is promoted recently. So regarding parts, I think we should obviously give the better car to George Russell for obvious reasons because NISSANY is our reserve driver at the minute and he's going to be here for some time until Latifi learns how to behave. With that being said, let's go racing in China. So we are here in China for Saturday's qualifying session. As you can see from the telemetry, it's raining quite hard, but if you pay attention, at exactly the 8-minute mark, the track seems to be drying up, but after that, the rain intensity seems to be increasing. So I'm gonna send them out and risk it out on the dry tires, hoping that we get the middle stage of the dry stint. So let's see how this goes. When you are a backmarker team, you gotta take these risks and hope it pays off, and that's exactly what we're gonna be doing today. If it doesn't, it's okay. I mean, if it pays off, we'll be close to the front of the grid. So let's see how this strategic call goes. So NISSANY starts his flying lap, and you can see that the track is completely dry now, and we have come out in the best time on the dry tires, and you can see that we are only 1/100th of the second down on the pole sitter Sebastian Vettel. That's because we are on the dry tires, and the rain picks up, but it doesn't matter as we will be going through in this session. And NISSANY goes the fastest in this session along with George Russell. I mean, it's Williams 1-2. We executed our strategy perfectly and we are through to Q2 with this pretty much. Williams 1-2 doesn't happen every day, so we'll just take it with a pinch of salt. Alright, so it is time for Q2 and we really need to get going right now because the rain is gonna pick up later in the session, so I'm going to send them both out immediately. From the telemetry you can see that we'll be moving towards heavy rain conditions, so let's get out there and put in a fast lap as soon as possible because when the rain comes in, lap times fall off. Let's just hope that we make it in time. before it starts raining. It's already started raining, so we are on the dry compounds. There's no point in doing this lap, but let's see how it goes. For now, I don't think we are the fastest, and just as I say that, the track is heavily soaked, and let's see where we finish. We finished second, and no, we finished third and fourth, and we are dropping down the order. Could this be the day both the cars qualified to Q3? I mean, both the cars have never qualified beyond Q1 so far in our career mode, but this is the first time. Let's see if we can go all the way to Q3. The track is drying up now, and faster times will be set. We'll go right at the depth of this session, and see when the track grip is optimum, which should be somewhere near the end of the session. I'm going to send out Roy Nissany first on a set of super soft tires, and I'm also going to send out George Russell on a new set of super soft tires and see how this goes. Let's see how this flying lap goes with Roy Nissany here. Crosses the start finish straight, goes down the first sector, and he is going to gain 5/10 of a second, and Roman Grosjean is the fastest at the minute. I don't think we will make it into Q3 now because everyone is on fast tires. So whatever trick we played in Q1, it only works when there's rain. So we go 8th and 9th, so we are indeed in Q3. I'm going to bite my words here, and this is extremely surprising. I didn't even bring enough super softs for this race, so let's see how this goes. It's raining here in China again, and it's going to get dry after some time, so I'm gonna wait it out until it gets dry enough for us to go on the track. We are in Q3, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not joking. I'm pinching myself, but it's true. For the first time in our career mode, both the cars have made it to Q3, and eventually the track is going to dry off, and I think that's when we'll be sending out both our drivers, and probably we'll only get one lap in. We're gonna send out Roy Nissany now. It's almost 2 minutes 22 seconds. Let him go out, and we are gonna send out Russell now after some time. So basically, since we made it past Q2, we will have to start on the soft compound, which throws some spanner in our works because we are not the fastest car on the track, and also we are starting on the tires, which gets easily worn out. So we'll have to see how that goes. Probably getting into Q3 was not good for us, but we are here, and we can't complain about it. So let's see how this goes. Roy Nissany starts his one and only flying lap, and I'm pretty sure we'll be 9th and 10th here. So probably a Williams car in Q3 itself is something that is unheard of because they have been struggling so much. But let's see what kind of lap this is going to be, and I could be wrong. Nissany goes 7th fastest, and Russell crosses the line and he goes 8th fastest. So Roy Nissany has beaten Russell in inferior car. That makes me think if we should keep him as our second driver throughout the season. Let's see how he goes on in the race. So this is a grid for the race. We have Lance Stroll in his Racing Point car on pole. We have Daniel Kvyat. We have Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz. I think this is a lot of surprise results, and the icing on the cake is that even Williams is in the top 10. So basically, where is Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel? Oh, okay, they are 11th and 12th. So all the front runners are having an off day, which is always a good thing for us. It's 5 lights here in Beijing, and we go racing in China. So Russell gets the better start off the line, and he's into P7 straight off the back. Going into corner 1, Russell has kept P7, but I don't think we can defend from the Ferraris all too well. We are still in P8, one of the point scoring positions, and let's see how this goes. Russell down the inside, and that's a brilliant overtake. But it appears like we are no match for the Alpha Tauri, but Russell tries to pass him on the outside. It's of no dividends. We are in P9 now, and NISSANY has gone backwards to P14. We are getting overtaken left, right and center, which is pretty much what I expected, because faster cars are behind us, and it was only a matter of time before we lost out some pace. We are still P10 on the grid, and we lost out a couple of positions there, but what can you do? We are trying to defend for this last points paying position, and let's see if we can overtake this Alpha Tauri. I'm going to increase the engine modes and hope for the best, but nothing seems to be working, and we get overtaken once again. There's been an incident, and Hamilton has punctured his tires. So probably one free position there. Russell is 12th. He's defending from Bottas, who is P12. He has a broken front wing or something of that sort. So Mercedes are having a terrible day out at the minute, and we are maintaining P11 with George Russell and Roy Nissany in P14. Bottas overtakes us with a broken front wing, only goes to shows us that how much more work we need to do, and even the McLaren of Norris is trying to overtake us, but Russell, being the genius he is, has defended successfully. We have an incident between Gasly and Grosjean. One of their front wings is off, so he's going into the pits. We now move into the points paying position because two cars are in the pits and have had some sort of an incident. So let's do our best and try to hold on to this P10 position as long as possible. I don't know what happened to Roy Nissany, but then he has significant tire wear compared to George Russell, so probably we'll need to pit him on this lap or the next one. So we need to bring Roy Nissany in this lap, and we have 54 laps left. So I think we should be able to go on the hard tires and probably finish the race off with some super soft tires. So that's what I'm going to do now. Anyways, this race is going to be a two-stop because we qualified into Q3. So I'm going to bring him in this lap. With Russell, we still have significant amount of tire wear left. So let's keep pushing and see what happens. So it's lap number 10, and Russell's tire wear is significant enough, and we need to pit him this lap. I think we would go with the same strategy that we went with Roy Nissany. So I'm going to set him out on a set of hard tires, then we'll be going on super soft to conclude this race. Let's bring him in and hope that this is a good pit stop. He comes in, and please be a good pit stop. There's a mistake. The new mechanic has screwed us over, so we are now in 16th, 18th and 19th position after the first pit stop phase. Let's put our head down and try our best, but that was really disappointing, and that's probably the first mistake we have made in terms of our pit stops. George Russell makes a brilliant move to get past Giovinazzi, who's on worn out softs, so we need to start being more aggressive if we want to see some points today and stop being too conservative, because we will be two-stopping unlike the last race where we went for a one-stop strategy. So let's see how this goes, and next ahead is Stoffel Van Dorn, who's our next target. Roy Nissany is in 19th position, not sure what happened to him. It's behind Bottas. Mercedes having a terrible race, while Ferrari are pretty much on the top. It's a 1-2 for the Scuderia outfit. So let's see how this goes now. Lap number 21, and it's starting to slightly drizzle now, so I'm going to bring in George Russell this lap along with Roy Nissany. It's going to be a double stack for Williams, and I hope this works out perfectly. We have no other choice because the rain is going to only intensify in the coming laps, and we're going to lose out too much time to Alfa Romeo by staying out. George Russell comes in, and let's hope this time it's a clean stop for him. It is, and Nissany comes in. It's a perfectly timed pit stop, and we are now on the intermediate tires as it's slightly drizzling here in Beijing. Hopefully, we can push on from here and make some progress. Hamilton has had some sort of an incident, and he's just had a terrible race all over. So Ferrari are still in the lead, and let's see what they are going to do. They have not come in yet, which is pretty surprising. And George Russell has ran into Charles Leclerc, who was in the second position. So basically, a back marker has hit the uh, front runner in the team, and we now have significant damage on the front wing. So just when we thought that the race was going in our favor, this kind of thing has happened. I think we will have heavy rain after the 45th lap. So we there's no need for us to change the tires in my calculation, but it's currently we are under lap number 30, so we need to make these tires last for 16 more laps, and they are good for 20 more laps. So that's not an issue. We are going to fix the front wing. It's been a collision, and also I think he's going to get a drive-through penalty for that stupid move. George Russell was up in 13th place, and probably he could have got some points today, so it is very disappointing, and this is what you get with inexperience. So all our hopes are now on our reserve driver Roy Nissany, who's in 14th place. Let's see what he can do for us, and let's see if we can get some points. And unfortunately, we have bumped into Vettel, who should be pitting now. So it's lap number 44, and we now have another engine issue, all thanks to Pady Lowe. So this joker has fucked us over 3 times in a row. The first race, the brakes failed, and George Russell hit the barrier. And in the second race, the brakes failed, and now we have an engine failure. So I don't know what his problem is to design one the half decent part. I just don't know what it is with him. I'm extremely frustrated. This race has already gone from bad to worse. We could have had some points today, but Russell ran into the back of Vettel, who was leading the race, and then this guy tried to unlap himself. But I'm not going to call him in. I think he should be able to manage with these. And also there's no need for us to make an additional pit stop anyways, because we'll be coming in for the full wets in some time. With Roy Nissany, we are still in P12, and the tires are starting to wear out, which is a little bit worrying for me, but I don't know if we should be going on another sets of intermediate tires or wets, because as you can see, the intensity of the rain is going to increase in probably another 2 laps. So I'm going to try my best and keep him out for another 2 laps, and take a decision after that. So officially fully wet now, and it's not raining under intermediate conditions. So let's go ahead and put on the full wet tires, and hopefully this strategic call pays off. I'm going to do the same with George Russell, and let's see how his engine is holding up. It's still at 24%, which is a good thing. So let's go ahead and put him on the wets. This could backfire tremendously, but again, I don't think we are going to score any points, so I might as well gamble on the strategy and go on the wet tires, as it's getting towards heavy rain situation at the minute. So Roy Nissany comes in for his pit stop, and it's a clean pit stop. Hopefully it's the same with George Russell, and it is. So we are now out in P14 on full wet tires, trying to catch up to the grid. The track is completely wet, and there's standing water, so I think it's the right call to be on wet tires. Let's see if this kind of gives us an advantage in the last 10 laps to catch up and score some points. Although that seems to be some sort of a tall order. Let's see how this goes. So George Russell's engine is completely blown open now, and it's smoking out. So Pady Lowe's engine has screwed us over, and I mean Russell has crashed into someone. He had a time penalty, so it's unfortunate, and he's going to retire from this race. So it's an engine failure, and he's out of this race. Probably we should have fixed his engine when he came in, but either ways it wouldn't have made much of a difference to the outcome. NISSANY spins, but it's not an issue. I think we are going to finish in P14 throughout this race. So it's been a disappointing Grand Prix, but you cannot score points in every race of the season. So there will be races like this, and also George Russell would have definitely scored the points today if his engine didn't blow up, or the fact that he didn't run over to Sebastian Vettel. We would have had some points, but again, that's what you get when you have an inexperienced lineup, and also the driver seems to be unhappy. So probably by the next episode we will get in a new driver, and that's what we need right now. We just need to improve our driver lineup. As every episode our car is getting stronger and stronger. So let's see what kind of results we can get in the future. So it's the last lap of the race, and we finish in P14. Can't complain about it. It's still a very high finish for a Williams, considering how bad we were. So it's a reality check for us, since we scored points in the last episode, that all races are not going to be straightforward for us going forward, and hopefully we can improve the reliability. And I'm extremely pissed with Pady Lowe, who has screwed us over for the third race in running, and my patience is running thin. I don't mind making the changes and spending some extra money if it means we get reliable parts for the race. These are the results from the Beijing Grand Prix. So it's very astonishing that Charles Leclerc has finished in 9th position. He had a 10-second penalty and a drive-through penalty. Sebastian Vettel finished 3rd. So Ferrari, having a 1-2 at one point, have monumentally fucked this race over. And as usual, Mercedes have showed their dominance. As far as we are concerned, we don't have any sorts of points from this race. So that's not all too bad. George Russell is still in 14th position in terms of drivers standings, and I think we are still the 9th best team with 4 points. Alfa Romeo have 6 and McLaren have 8. So it's not a bad start, but we need to keep scoring points regularly, and more importantly, what I am concerned is having a stronger driver lineup, because that really cost us the race today. So guys, that's it for this episode. Next time around we'll be going racing in Portugal. We have a balance of almost 17 million euros to spend. I'm gonna set the budget for next year's car for around 1 million. So we'll be saving a lot of money for the next year's car, which is very important for a backmarker team like us. So considering that we have so much money left, in the next episode I'm planning to get rid of Nicholas Latifi, who has been shit, and also bring in 2 new mechanics who are good enough, and probably even get rid of Pady Lowe, who's screwed us over in all the 3 races by giving us shit components to work with, which have eventually all failed. So let me know in the comments what would you like to do, and with that being said, I'm Rahul, and please stay home, stay safe, and I'll see you next time around.